doing during 3 years, but in fact, the main point is that we succeeded. And before starting with Mr. Albert Castellanos, General Director of Economic Promotion and Concurrence from the Government of Catalonia, and the welcome by the Deputy Mayor of the City Hall of Granollers, saying thank you is then when we really feel that we are humans. So, and I have a list. And now, before starting the session, I would like to say some thank yous. The first of all to Ramon Gallard, my colleague, the one who had the project in mind, and he had more or less the solution, the issue and the solution, and we were looking for partners, and we did it. My company, Estabanell Energia, the one hosting the act in behalf of the Smart Rural Grid project, this is a company who started activities in 1880, in the electrical world in 1910, and so it could be the traditional, conservative, slow-moving distribution company, but it is not. So when Ramon and me, we went to Francesc Estabanell, the fourth generation of the family owning the company, and we proposed to go to Europe and to knock the doors around and disturb people for getting the project. He could say no, but he said yes. So thank you, gracias. And things started then. And then I have a list I don't want to forget, with Carmen Jimeno from Geode, the Association of Local Energy Companies in Europe. We were walking down in Brussels, knocking doors, until a day where we got the right door and we had the right answer, so we could start. Then, thanks to Axio, let's say the innovation, a department for the promotion of the innovation of the government of Catalonia, we knew David Esteban, a consultancy firm with owning Tech Force, and he told us how to move from something we had in mind to a real project that we could present to the European authorities. The partners, we were 8 partners in this project. I wanted a small consortium made out of small companies, and this was part of the success. We did it, so all the partners were enrolled and motivated from day zero. And I want only to make a point on one person, which is here, which is Thaddeus Müller from Stadtwerke Rosenheim. He probably will be the only one not being here today, but during 3 years, he has always been delivering more than requested, so thank you very much, Thaddeus. Also, Patricia Arsene and Mercè Griera, 2 project officers. Mercè Griera, things are very easy because she's from Barcelona. And Patricia Arsene, really, we have had a very strict project officer, but being strict, she's part of the success. So we were everybody very good, very strict in working, but once a year we had an examination from a person knowing, very involved in the project and knowing very well the subjects that we were dealing with. The colleagues of Estabanell, of different departments that they have been daily involved in the project, while the daily tasks were also performed. So on top of the daily, a normal daily business, they had to support project activities. The mayor of Granollers and you, Alba, because the city, this city is, well, probably you will explain better than me, 60,000 inhabitants, and for us it's absolutely a luxury to have the doors of the mayor and all the people and the municipality open to any new activity that we want to start. I suppose that the city wants to be smart, or something like this, because they have really a hyperactivity. And also the mayor and the inhabitants of Vallfogona. We have been disturbing 27 families for 3 years in Vallfogona. The mayor was supporting us from day zero, and only 2 weeks ago, because it was a holiday, local holiday in Vallfogona, I had the opportunity of meeting the citizens is not a city, so inhabitants of this rural place, to explain them in what have been doing there, how unique was the situation that they had in their town. And finally, the Catalan administration. Let's say, being Catalan, if the Catalan administration supports you, things are great because things are normal, and normal things are the best things. Huh? So we had always the support of Acció. We have ICAEN with Assumpta Ferran. She will come later, probably, for the closing words. The Catalan Energy Agency, the director, and David Ferrer is around here today also, and Jordi Puigneró. So we had a lot of people which was very, very involved in our project. I saw when David Ferrer was to China, and we saw a screen with Estabanell and Smart Rural Grid there. They were explaining all around the world, in California also, just informing people that this project made here was up and running. So this is all from my side. Now I feel much better, because this is something I had to do for 3 years, and only today I could really... so please, Mr. Albert Castellanos, if you want, the floor is yours. You have...
This is Salva Pernocell, Deputy Mayor of Granollers, Marcel Coderch, the President of the Catalan Competition Authority, local and national authorities. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Estabanell Energia for inviting us to take part of this event, and congratulations on behalf of the government of Catalonia and on behalf, particularly, of the Vice President, Oriol Junqueras. You can tell from Santi's words that this is a success story that it wouldn't have been possible with the participation of many people. So, first of all, congratulations. I'm sure that this project will open new ways for a more efficient energy use and electricity consumption. Actually, from the government point of view, Smart Rural Grids is considered a highly strategic project because it's meeting several conditions, several characteristics that not many projects meet, and that I think are worth to mention and to develop a little bit. Which are these characteristics? We think that the main ones are three. First of all, a project helping to step forward and to contribute to a carbon-free energy transition. Second is a clear example on how to improve market efficiency and competitiveness through the smart use of data. And third is an interesting way, we think, to increase distributed generation feasibility and sustainability, particularly in rural areas. The government, as you may know, is fully committed with the transition to a new energy model. The Energy and Climate Change Plan 2012-2020 and the document establishing the basis to build a national agreement for energy transition in Catalonia, approved in January 2017, some months ago, provide for a range of actions to promote the development of smart grids in Catalonia. The actions include particularly ensuring that the government and the business sector play an active role on integrating distributed renewable power and in the introduction of self-consumption, but secondly, promoting the development of technologies, systems, and equipments to enable smart energy management. These systems should be integrated at microgrid level, this is in buildings, to enable management of electricity generation, demand, and storage. Moreover, with regard to smart grids, the Catalan government works in two different lines of action. First of all, to promote through a smart cat strategy the introduction of smart systems for measuring, monitoring, and controlling energy consumptions, and to enable optimized management of energy demand as a key measure to reduce energy consumption. And we are also working to advance in the design and the construction of smart electrical grids that combine security of supply, the integration of distributed power generation, electrical self-consumption, management of electricity demand and storage of electrical energy, with particular attention to the integration of electric vehicles as electricity storage systems with two-way charging, as well as the interrelation of these electrical grids with natural gas grids in order to create smart energy grids. Hence, you can notice from these words that the government, Generalitat de Catalunya, plans and strategies are perfectly aligned with the targets of the project we are presenting here today. But smart rural grids is not only relevant because it's boosting this energy transition the government is working for, but because it's also arising another critical issue: the increasing use of data as a source of competitiveness. The most competitive advantage in many sectors appears to have moved from production and distribution to information, data, and its management, and the electricity market is no exception. In fact, as you already know, electricity consumption data access is an essential strategic element for smart grids development, because they need consumption data in order to optimize electricity management and commercialization. On this regard, we cannot ignore the Spanish energy market distinctive features. I would like to underline two of them, at least. A very unclear distinction between distribution and retailing companies, and second, a clear dominance of a single distribution company, particularly in Catalonia, responsible for providing electricity to 94% of the market. That market structure, together with the premature installation of smart meters in Spain by the monopoly that owns the network, limited the competition in the electrical data management emerging new market. Smart meters are a key element of the development of new data processing markets, and insofar as the installed meters do not meet the technical characteristics required for this new potential use, competition is also limited in these new markets. To a certain extent, the birth of these new markets, we could say that it has been bind. On this regard, let me mention some of the recommendations that the Catalan Competition Authority is addressing in a report is going to be presented this Friday in Barcelona. I invite you to come to the presentation of this report to ensure that in Catalonia, there's a smart grid industry full development. I'm going to mention just two of these recommendations. First of all, to clarify and assure a structural separation between distribution and retailing companies in the electricity market. And second, the creation, we suggest that it would be a good idea, the creation of a neutral data operator. A neutral operator that would centralize the data by the various distributors, and this task would make it easier for third parties to obtain information in equal and neutral conditions. We spoke about the government alignment in smart grids development. We spoke about the Spanish market limitations for the development of the smart grids. And I think we have to speak a little bit as well about electricity self-consumption. The smart rural grid also reminds us the need to evolve towards an increase in electricity self-consumption. From the government, we should underline the fact that the option of self-consumption is also a way of introducing competition into the market, to the degree that it becomes an alternative to the traditional form of energy supply. So far, an enterprise or individual only had the status of energy consumer. Now, due to technological advances, we can choose to produce it and therefore move from having only one option, traditional supply through the grid to having also the possibility of being supplied with energy generated by themselves. Although the Spanish current regulation, the Royal Decree of 2015, recognized that changing the system from centralized to decentralized would bring improvements in efficiency, besides not allowing the introduction of microgrids, the current regulation is actually allowing the current electricity system an excessive burden on electricity self-consumption. Projects like the one we are presenting today, smart rural grids, are not going to change the Spanish electricity regulation. And they are not going to change, short-term at least, that there's a single company controlling the electricity market in Catalonia neither. We are not going to achieve the energy transition goals by themselves neither. But this kind of projects like smart rural grids, innovation projects at the end, do show us that there are other ways to provide energy facilities. Increasing the resilience of the existing grids, saving a lot of money, a lot of public money in infrastructure through the cooperation of electricity and telecommunication companies, or improving the efficiency of rural grids and the management of distributed generation points. At the end, we could say that this project reminds us that perhaps innovation is the smartest kind of revolution. Thank you very much for your attention and for your commitment to the project, to all the consortium members, that there are a few. Keep on innovating and helping us to create a more competitive economy and a better world to live in. Thank you very much.
So, thank you. And Alba, please, Alba Barnusell, Deputy Mayor of Granollers.
Okay, thanks, Santi, Francesc, President, Director General, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the city, to our city, Granollers. As a Deputy Mayor, Santi introduced me. I'm pleased to be here and welcome to our city. Mayor Mayoral has not been able to attend the meeting, but on behalf of him, we would like to thank everyone, and especially Estebanell, for all the work that has been done. Our mayor right now is in London today, sharing experience and knowledge about peace in a seminar in the Imperial War Museum, working closest with other European cities for building a better future, as you are doing here today. We are delighted to receive people from all over the world, hold events and meetings of all kinds, share knowledge and experience, and learn from other cities and other citizens. Granollers is a city, as Santi said, close to Barcelona with 60,000 inhabitants. For those who came from abroad, let me present our city briefly, just with 3 words. Open to the world, charming and dynamic, I would say. I hope you could see it firsthand. Some of you already know it from other times you stayed here. These 3 words describe the city, and there are 3 things I would tell you too. The first one, it's a real pleasure for us to have you here, discussing and reflecting on the future sustainability, renewable energy, sustainable production, consumption, distribution. The second one, is a delight for us to have a company like Estebanell in our city. A company involved with the city who has the certainty that cities are built on the commitment of all citizens, public administrations, public companies, organizations. A city has to be made by all of us together, or not will be. That's what we think as a city hall, and also companies like Estebanell know that very much. And the third thing, and the last one, for those who don't know Estebanell's history, Santi tell you a little bit about, and you have been working with them all these years. But let me introduce you to this. Estebanell is an old company with more than 100 years who has responsible for providing electricity and who brought the light to our city at the beginning of the 20th century. From this point forward, they set the company in the city. And they became one of the important companies for us in our city, always concerned about their work, the environmental, the people life. Estebanell has always wanted to improve the city, the people's life, and has always been involved in all the city programs related to innovation, such environmental, sustainability, renewable energy, and as Santi said, we like to be smart too. We are very proud to have you here, all of you, today sharing experiences, and also we are very proud to have the opportunity to work hand by hand with companies like Estebanell. And we are, as I said, proud to have you here working together and contributing to make a better world. I'm completely sure that with all the work you have done during all these 3 years and the 3 months you have left still, you will do it and you will do a better world. Thank you very much for being here. I wish you a happy stay in Granollers and a happy journey today. Thank you.